What's going on, everyone? It's Jimbo with the Auto Detailing Podcast. Fresh back from Mobile Tech Expo 2018, and I've been really working hard trying to capture my thoughts, and I really wanted to do a daily thing from Mobile Tech Expo. There was so much going on, so many conversations that I really wanted to kind of capture all that. So this is my attempt. I was going to do a video about it and then strip the audio, and then my camera's out of battery. I'm driving in between an appointment, so I'm in the car, and I just wanted to kind of capture just my thoughts and feelings and emotions about Mobile Tech Expo 2018 specifically, but then as it kind of bleeds over into just events in general. Whether that be SEMA, whether that be Detail Fest coming up, whether that be Mobile Tech next year if you're looking forward to it. Because as we kind of talked about Mobile Tech with Jason Rose, I got a handful of people writing in, hey, is it worth it? Should I go to Mobile Tech? And for this situation, it was Mobile Tech. Should I spend the money to go to Mobile Tech? Do you think it'll be worth it? And the thing that I find, and this was my first year at Mobile Tech, so honestly I had to write back to the people like, I don't know, and there is so many factors that go into it, obviously where you live. For me, it was traveling across the country, and if you can hear it in my voice, it's because I did like nonstop talking every day, which was great. It was phenomenal. I mean, I guess that's what I like to do, right? Talk. So but my voice is getting a little raspy. I flew in Friday, and as soon as I landed about 4 o'clock, as soon as I landed, it was, dinner, meet and greets. Next day was the show, dinner, not meet and greets, just meetups really, because everyone, let's get into it. What was awesome about Mobile Tech, was that the hotel that most people were staying at was also the hotel where Mobile Tech was being held. So the hotel had a convention center. So what that did was everyone stayed there. So everyone was in one central location, which was awesome because you didn't have to go anywhere and you would just bump into people. So for example, on Saturday night, I went, Matt Mormon only lived with Obsessed Garage. He only lived about just over an hour away. So I rented a car, drove out to his house, saw Obsessed Garage headquarters, saw his house, hung out with him. We got dinner. That was great. Drove back. By the time I got back to my hotel, it was about 10 o'clock. I'm kind of beat from driving, almost 3 hours, within the past 6 hours that night. And I'm kind of beat. But as I walked through the lobby, you start bumping into people. One conversation leads to the next, because everyone is in this one central place. And then before I knew it, it was 2 a.m. And just great conversations, networking, making connections for other deals. And if you watch my YouTube channel, obviously there's that going on in the background of how can I, maybe bring something in for either a private label or a wholesale deal for Amazon, my little Amazon side hustle that I've been really talking about over on my YouTube channel, if you're interested in that. But so that was extremely cool, and I loved that part of it. I really loved how you couldn't help but just bump into people and have great conversations. The show itself was predominantly PDR or paintless dent repair, like an overwhelming percentage. I would say, 90% of the show, maybe even 95% of the show is dedicated, even still, regardless of what other people say, in my opinion, was dedicated towards the paintless dent repair industry. So whether that would be tools or softwares or programs or whatever, 90 to 95% of it was paintless dent repair. But in and of itself, that fact made it cool too, because obviously then 95% of the people hanging out at the hotel are PDR guys who already know each other, which either one forces you to network with PDR guys, which could be cool as a income stream if you could happen to find one in your local area. That'd be cool. But what it did for me was kind of shrunk down the size of the detailing industry, and everyone was hanging out with, all the detailers were hanging out with each other, which made it so there was only like, I feel like it's friggin' high school, but like high school lunch where, one group sitting at this table and another group sitting at that table, not because, they're against each other, just because that's kind of the cliques that fell together at that particular moment. But you could really find the detailers, which was awesome. And for me, every time I go to SEMA show and now Mobile Tech, I can say, but every time I go to these shows, and what I started to say to people that were writing in asking if they should go to Mobile Tech this year, and what I'm going to continue to say is that, because even SEMA, it's not about the show itself. Never. For me, the shows themselves are, they're cool, right? It's cool to take pictures. You could leverage it for marketing, that you're out at the SEMA show, that you're at Mobile Tech or whatever. That you can definitely play that angle, and it seems really cool. Obviously, if you're into more different things, I don't even know if that's a right sentence, but if you're into, either PDR for Mobile Tech, or you're into different car-related things, SEMA obviously is, you might find more value out of the show than I do myself, but where the overwhelming value that I get out of these shows, trade shows, and is a reason why I really want to try to do more of them, and where they pay off for me, and they pay off a little bit if you can find a new product or a new system, or if you're trying to get, a certification or something like that, it could definitely pay off. But the overwhelming part that pays off for me is in the after hours networking, the after hours show, because you're in a, maybe not a vacation spot, but most people are away from their house, even if they're an hour or two away. So they have that going. Some people are from even further away, like me, all the way across the country. I don't know if I could get any further unless I went down to Miami or something like that. But so people are kind of on vacation mode, work mode, but vacation mode. But you're just forced to talk to people that you wouldn't normally meet, and you wouldn't normally see, and you wouldn't normally talk to. And that, for me, is the greatest part of going to these things, and the most profitable part, honestly. And it's kind of sorry, I got a cup banging around over here. It's the hard part, and if you're a detailer and you kind of think like I do and did and all that, if it's not equating to direct income, meaning, if you can't make a connection or you can't make income right then and there, it's a loss. But what I'm starting to find out is that there's ways of indirect income. And that's what networking at these shows really does, is that you meet people that you wouldn't normally meet in your day-to-day life, and that can either, from there you could change your techniques or learn of a new technique, or you can learn of a new connection where you could get a tool or a liquid or a towel or whatever from a different spot or a different distributor, or you meet a distributor who can help you on price, or a business opportunity or a business partner. So there's all these indirect, or just a company you've never heard of before that now you want to try out, or maybe a software that you saw that was for PDR, or they were marketing it for PDR, but it could actually be used for the detailing space. So, you kind of are thrust into these conversations and circles if you choose to put yourself in them outside of the show. But honestly, and I've heard it true with other industries, it's almost more valuable to just go to these after-hour meetups and meet and greets than it is to even spend time at the show. So I'm always, as SEMA comes later this year, I know there's Detail Fest and stuff like that, which I'm hesitant to go to Detail Fest only because it's coming up within like another month and a half, and it's across the country again. So I'm not sure I'll be making that for no other reason than I don't know if I want to, for me, it's being away from the family as well. So unless I could bring the fam, I don't know if I'm up to be away for another 3 or 4 days and travel clear across the country. It kind of wipes me out as I jump right back into detailing. I landed at 10 p.m. last night. I'm recording this at 10 a.m. So within 12 hours of landing, I'm back at it. Not complaining, just stating the facts. However, the show, I guess my overwhelming thought is that the show is so incredibly worth whatever monetary cost it is. The show pays for it, probably most likely in an indirect way, but I wouldn't rule out direct ROI or return on investment for the cost that it takes to get to the show either. And that's kind of the consensus I got talking to a lot of you guys, which was awesome. I love meeting all you guys and putting a face to the name, even though I'm horrible with names and I feel extremely awkward acting like I don't know who you are initially. And some of you I've even interviewed, but if I don't have a face to the name, it just makes it a little bit harder. So I apologize, but I'm also grateful. I really, really enjoy it. And guys, this industry, regardless of what we see on Facebook and the squirms and fights we see, this detailing industry has some of the best people, the nicest people in it. And I think all of you that listen to this show are in that group. So I really, really appreciate that. So I would encourage you guys to make it a goal to get out to one of these shows. If you're on the East Coast, maybe Mobile Tech would be an easier show. Detail Fest, I haven't been to Detail Fest, but I'd like to go because I think it's probably the same thing. Or if you're out towards the West, SEMA obviously is a really big show. A lot of people are there. They all have their perks, they all have their downsides, and they all cost money, unfortunately. But I would strongly encourage you guys to go, and that's why I wanted to kind of record this. I plan on doing a couple videos to try to capture more of since my thoughts are raw and fresh, I wanted to try to capture as much as I can. Big thanks, he probably doesn't listen, but to Matt Mormon, Obsessed Garage, for having me out at his house. That was cool. Got me outside of the hotel for a little bit to see a little bit more of Florida. It made me really love living in Southern California. No diss to Florida. I love Southern California, but I think everyone loves their home, right? So anyway, now I'm just rambling and ranting. I just really wanted to record that and get some fresh thoughts out there about Mobile Tech Expo 2018. Did I say 2017 in the beginning? Oh man, I probably did. Oh well, Mobile Tech Expo 2018, and I'm going to go make sure I have the right year. See ya.